Hi, everyone. Welcome back, students, Saybrook University. Welcome back, HCM 6111, where we're looking at humanistic centered best practices for information technology in this course. And we are on week 4. The theme for week 4 are threats to information and data security technology, influence on ethical and humanistic issues. Very important, particularly due to the vast amount of data breaches that are happening across every industry and how personal information, sensitive information uh, is now available on the World Wide Web and on the dark web as a result of organizations being breached either internally or externally, thus exposing the information of millions of people. Social security numbers, addresses, credit card numbers. And so it's a very important topic that you need to understand, and a very important topic that you need to master if anything that you do will involve technology and involve collecting sensitive information. At some point, the public trust is starting to wane in the area. And so then that puts more pressure on organizations and on technology providers to prove to consumers that the information that they provide in the application will be secure from unauthorized access. And so in week 4, I want you to start with the chapter 4 reading, where we'll look at ethical and social issues in information systems. Please read that thoroughly. And then follow that up with chapter 10, where we look at e-commerce, digital markets, and digital goods. Many of you will find yourself in that market, even though you're transitioning from service based and transitioning from product based industries. You'll find that digital goods and digital services will begin to take a more prominent role. And if that is indeed the case, how can you design your business practice, or how can you design your entrepreneurial pursuits, if you will, with that realization in mind? Really good article this week, an overview of emerging disruptive technologies and key issues. I encourage you again to read all of your reading assignments before you start the discussion board assignments. Keep in mind also that any article or any chapter from the textbook can be used later on down the line as evidence or as scholarly support for any of your assignments. So not only are you reading these chapters and you're reading the peer-reviewed journals for content, you're also reading those for evidence and support for your future research projects. And so in week 4, you've only got 2 discussion board assignments here. The first assignment is to appraise the ethical issues contained in the scenario that we provide for you. And that scenario is going to be within the context of information systems safeguards. And that is really safeguarding information like personal identity, credit card information, and other types of sensitive information. And part of what I want you to look at there is, does that disproportionately affect underserved communities or ethnic communities, if you will, meaning that people that potentially have more financial affluency or that are perhaps higher on the economic hierarchy, if you will, are they perhaps less affected by these data breaches and by the unauthorized access of personal information? And so those are things that I want you to consider in this assignment, in this course, not just the breach within itself, but how does those breaches disproportionately affect various members of the population. And then your second discussion board assignment is you'll watch the video, how technology changes our sense of right and wrong. I just love this video. That's probably my favorite video of all the videos in the course. And I hope you enjoy it as much as I did. And I hope that you find it to be very thought provoking. So that's going to be your week for in an overview. And before I let you go, I want to just look ahead to the final project. And in that final project, and it's a critical thinking project, I've given you some ideas of some potential projects that you want to do. One thing I know is that I don't want an essay, and I'm sure you don't either. I don't want an essay. I think a PowerPoint is okay under certain circumstances, but what I want you to do is I want that project to be something unique to you, something unique that you want to create or design as part of your entrepreneurial pursuits, something that you want to create or design as a result of your goal to move up the organizational chart or perhaps get hired on at a certain company or in a specific industry. And so you'll see some examples there that I've given you, but I don't want you to stick to those examples. If you've got something creative that you want to do outside of that process, let's get together so we can get that approved for you. But if you look forward to week 7, you'll see some ideas such as interactive webinar, a white paper, gamification, or a website. And the reason that I selected those are actual artifacts that you have in real life business scenarios, obviously, especially in the case of white papers as it relates to technology. And so I want you to be creative and I want you to think outside of the box when it comes to your final week 7 project and start thinking about that right now. A cookie cutter 7 or 8 page essay that won't cut it for the final assignment. I want something that's a tangible artifact that you can use in a real life scenario in order to help you achieve your business goals or objectives. So I think I'll probably put a pause right there on this topic, and we'll talk about it more in detail on Tuesday when we get together in the live session. And in the meantime, I want you to think about and brainstorm what a really cool, fun, interactive project you could have in week 7, and then let's have some opportunities to talk about it and get final approval on a project that's going to work really well for you. Okay, thank you very much for listening. Thank you very much for all of your hard work over the first 3 weeks. The good news is that once you get week 4 under your belt, you will have technically be past the halfway point of the course, but there's still a lot of hard work to do, a lot of research, a lot of reading, and a lot of academic rigor. But I'm so happy and proud of your work up to this point, and I look forward to reading and participating in the discussion board assignments in week 4. Thank you and have a wonderful day. I'll see you on Tuesday.